Java versus Kotlin. Java versus Kotlin. Java versus Kotlin. Java versus Kotlin. Every time I hear Java versus Kotlin. So here's what is going to happen. I'm going to give my opinion on this Java versus Kotlin talk. So some months back, almost years, Google announced Kotlin for Android development, and it got a lot of popularity. Kotlin is very nice. People started using Kotlin, and people started asking the question, should I use Kotlin or Java for Android development? And there are a lot of articles and videos on which to use. So I'm going to give my opinion. Even on Twitter, I see a lot of statements, even till today. In fact, I saw one today, and that is what triggered me to make this video. I said, let me finally make my own opinion. So here's it. I use Kotlin and I use Java. I use both of them in Android development. Because of the way Kotlin works with Java, it's very easy to use it alongside Java. But here's the thing. It's either you're trying to use Kotlin to start learning Android development, or you're an experienced developer who's trying to add Kotlin to his skill set. Now, if you're a beginner, you do not lose choosing either Kotlin or Java. Now, a lot of people come in and talk about how cool Kotlin is, the features and the likes. Now, you don't use all those features when you're coding. That's the first thing. And I have seen cases where people compare Kotlin and Java, and I ask, what Java are you comparing Kotlin with? Because if you are not aware with Android development, for Android developers, they were stuck with Java 7 for a long time. So Java had if you understand the way Java is released, you have Java 7, Java 8. Of course, you have Java releases before 7, but on Android, you had a time where using Java 7 features, Java 8, but now you have Java 9, Java 10, Java 11, Java 12 is already on its way out. So when people compare Kotlin with Java, they normally compare Kotlin with Java 7. So anytime I bring that argument up, the argument normally dies down that Kotlin is very nice, but let's try and compare it. If I comparing it with Java, compare it with the latest Java features. So, for example, Java streams were not in Android for a while. If you know about streams, Lambda expressions, completable features, these were not in Android. They are there now, but it took some time for them to be used on Android. Also, Java has been evolving, but most people that know Java, a lot of times is from their computer science class or personal study. Now, a lot that came from the Java knowledge of computer science class or self-study might have come across Java 7, and they use that Java 7 in Android development. So you have cases where they use the old Java ways of doing stuff. Meanwhile, there are better ways of doing stuff. For example, you can have old ways of trying to loop through integers and filter, whereas there are new ways of doing it with streams. And Java has released a lot of new changes and we are expecting more features coming in future. So you have switch expressions which are expected in Java 12. In old Java, you had a lot of boilerplate code, long way of writing switch expressions, but now you can write it in a shorter way. You also have type inference, where you don't really need to, and I've showed you type inference here in one example before. For example, you have int name. Just got to write something random now. Sorry about that. So now you have string name is love, right? And some of you are not used to using var, but Java now has this var. But if you understand what I'm saying, this cannot be used on Android because Android developers use Java 7 and Java 8. Now this feature came out in Java 10. So when they compare Kotlin with Java, they normally compare the old features of Java with the new features of Kotlin. So you do not lose choosing either. Also, in case you want to use either Kotlin or Java, in the documentation you can choose either. So whether you're using Kotlin or Java, you have documentation for you. And the thing is that whichever you choose, the other code will look similar. So Kotlin code looks like Java code. Java code looks like Kotlin code. Of course, there are some exceptions. Now you have Kotlin, and to be sincere, Kotlin is a very nice language. If you're an Android developer, you should know it. Like, it's essential for you to know it. And it shouldn't be a case of, should I pick either Kotlin or Java? I feel that as an Android developer, if you know only Java, of course you will still meet some jobs now that knowing only Java, you can get the job. In fact, a lot of jobs at this time, you get your job. But it's an advantage if you know Kotlin. But if you know only Java and you stay only with Java and you decide not to learn Kotlin, that might not be nice, because the life of a programmer is continuous learning. You continue learning every day. Now, you can't also say you want to be an Android developer and you start with only Kotlin and you don't go to Java. Like, you're going to meet Java code. You're going to meet Java code. You have to face it. So it's not a total I'm choosing. It's not like Java versus Python, where depending on the language you choose, it kind of determines where you're heading. Normally, choose Python, you can go to backend or data science, and you can stay without touching Java. But with Kotlin, you're on the JVM, you're going to touch Java, you're going to touch it. So if you decide to start with Kotlin, that's all right, but it's not as delicate as choosing between Java and Python or C++ and C#. These are very similar languages, Java and Kotlin. Now, some advantages of Kotlin are here. I personally really like coroutines. I'm going to do a tutorial on coroutines later. It's a very nice stuff. And sincerely, the IntelliJ did a great JetBrains, not IntelliJ. JetBrains did a great stuff on it. I bought a book Kotlin in action. You can check that out in case you want to learn Kotlin. Now, some people argue in favor of Kotlin and say, yeah, Kotlin has native. You can write cross-platform apps with Kotlin. But do you know you can do that with Java also? Have you heard of Gluon? Yeah. So with Gluon, you can build mobile apps and really enterprise cloud systems, desktop apps, cross-platform iOS and Android apps. So this is the real stuff, right? And you have really cool features with Gluon. So, and this is not something that they're trying to test. Like, it has been here. It's not like it just came out, and you can use Java 8 and Java 9. So I will leave it at that. So you see, these two languages are very similar. The thing that I don't like is sometimes where people compare them and maybe with a little bit of bias, and you don't state all the features of the other language. Like Java has a lot of features and is improving so well. I showed you some examples of Java code and how it can be written today. An alternative to Kotlin coroutines, you could use maybe RxJava. I will also do a tutorial on that. And I mean, they are all languages. Let's treat these languages as tools and not they're not football clubs. You understand? It's not like you choose one football club and you start fighting the other people. It's not a competition. So start with anyone. You can't go wrong. Sincerely, you can't go wrong learning either Kotlin or Java. If you go with Java and you spend 2 years learning Java and writing Android applications, if you get employed, I tell you, once I saw Kotlin in the beginning, it didn't take me time to get used to it. There's nothing really new under the sun. Like, once you learn a language, choose a language and learn it very well, migrating from one language to another won't be as hard as your first language. So choose Java or Kotlin. Now, some of you are worried about Java, Oracle paying, Oracle charging you for JDK and the rest. So I decided to I decided to get you options in case you're worried. So yes, this is the official, I won't say official, this is Oracle's download page. So what they say is that you can use that JDK for development and like test environments, but you pay for commercial use. And it's not a new thing, right? But Java is still free. I've said this time and time again. So let's say, most people that are affected by this are not the people that are complaining. But let's say you want to use other JDKs, right? You have Amazon Corretto. Now, Amazon Corretto is free and is production ready, backed up by Amazon, and it is free. It is solid stuff. So in case you want to use something else, consider Amazon Corretto. But it doesn't stop there. You have other providers like Red Hat. Red Hat is also they're also a huge contributor to OpenJDK. So this was released January 2019, and you have OpenJDK 8 and 11. I mean, you have options, right? because Oracle is charging, Oracle's customers will be big organizations, not small. You get my point. Now, if you don't want red hat, let's say you don't like the fact that this is red hat, you like blue hats, you have other options. And that was a bad joke. You have adopt OpenJDK. I mean, you can use adopt OpenJDK, Java 8, Java 11. It's there for you. In case you don't want adopt OpenJDK, you have Azure system providing JDK. The fact that Oracle is charging, this has allowed a lot of people to contribute to the OpenJDK. And look at the bright side, you have a lot of contributors now providing OpenJDK. Now, before you can say you provide OpenJDK, there's a process. So not anybody can come and say it's OpenJDK. There's a process of certifying that it meets some standards. So the people I'm showing here, they are good stuff. So here, pure test, no strings attached, no license, no restrictions, use it anywhere. Azure systems, you also have Bellsoft. Now, Liberica JDK, long-term JDK 8, you have JDK 11. You also have SAP. They provide JDK 11, and you have, I'm sure you know SAP, right? So, this is not supposed to be here. And the list goes on, but this list I provided you should be able to find someone here, right? So there's nothing to worry about Oracle is charging and stuff. And I advise you to try and learn Java 11. You can, if you're an Android developer, of course you have to keep on using JDK 8, but you can progress to JDK 11 if you're using Java for backend like Spring and the rest. And let's look at everything as a family, right? Let's stop this competition stuff. Java, Kotlin, Python, they are all tools. What the customer or the managers are concerned about: working software. Is it working? Is it working fast? Can you deliver it fast? Because this concept of shorter lines of code, sometimes, when you're dealing with a large system, you will have to write that extra line of code, trying to reduce lines of code from 80 to 70 might not be a priority sometimes. You need to get work done. And to close this, should you use Java or Kotlin? Well, the choice is in your hands, and I will say that whichever you choose, you do not lose. Java and Kotlin are so close together that you cannot lose choosing either of them. But I'll tell you that there are more Android books written in Java. With that, bye bye.